The goal of the one of the goals of the executive action program, or executive action that the president announced as it relates to immigration about 10 days ago, was related to bringing those individuals who've been in this country for some time out of the shadows, right, giving them a work permit and onto the books, and giving them a social security number and making them taxpayers.
Our immigration laws set forth in very clear terms about what people who are in this country illegally have to do in order to leave and then come back and obtain lawful status. And here, all of a sudden, the people who are here illegally, they wake up every day continuing to violate our nation's immigration laws, are being afforded, in many cases, more benefits than lawful citizens get.
Well, later this month, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments on this case, United States versus Texas, and it has to do with 26 states challenging the executive orders that President Obama issued in 2014. Here's a brief for the petitioners. Quote, non-qualified alien is not categorically barred, however, from participating in certain federal earned benefit programs associated with lawfully working in the United States, the Social Security, retirement and disability, Medicare, and railroad worker programs, so long as the alien is lawfully present in the United States as determined by the Secretary. Back with the panel. Judge, there's a lot of people just scratching their head about this.
This is one of the most profound cases to come before the Supreme Court. I so regret that it's happening now after Justice Scalia passed, or at least without a full complement. Two issues before the court. Can the president issue executive orders to his cabinet secretaries, in this case 12 of them, which materially and substantially change the law, immigration law? Second issue. Can the president knowingly refuse to enforce the law as Congress has written it because he disagrees with it? The Supreme Court has never addressed this issue before. This second one about can he knowingly refuse to enforce the law is an issue raised by the court itself. It's not even raised by the 26 states that are the applicants here. The courts below have both ruled against the president, the trial judge in Texas and the appellate court in New Orleans. So if this is a 4-4 tie, the president of the United States, for only the second time in history, will remain enjoined by an action of the Supreme Court from doing what he wants to do for the remainder of his term.
But on the specific issue of actually providing federal benefits to illegal aliens, as is the petitioner's quote here,
right?
I mean, people say that doesn't make any sense to me.
It would make sense if Congress decided it, but Congress decided the opposite of what the president wants to do. The president says, here's his argument, I'm big-hearted, and these people have American citizen children and illegal alien parents, and I'm not going to split them up no matter what the law says I should do. That's his argument. Can he do that?
Because if he can do that legally, then they're in the United States legally for the duration of the DACA order, and they can get certain work-based benefits if they're working and paying taxes. It's the fundamental question, the first question that has to be decided. Is what he did legal, constitutional? If so, these people are in the United States legally.
This case potentially, Charles, changes the whole ballgame. It changes the environment in which immigration law is being dealt with.
I think it's bigger than that. If the president is allowed to go ahead and to do this, and it's decided that it's constitutional, then you can send Congress home and you can eliminate Article 1 from the Constitution. Then there are no laws. I mean, the judge is right. As a policy issue, the Congress decides, it passes the law, it decided that this is not appropriate. The president has a big heart with your tax money, and the Congress said no, it goes only to citizens. And if the president can unilaterally overturn that, then we have no laws, and we have essentially a single branch of government that legislates. This is a huge decision. I do not understand how the four liberal justices will, as they will, resist the logic here.
You can, not just citizens, legal residents. It's not just citizens who get those benefits.
Right. Yeah. Well, quickly, it brings us back to the importance of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes.
And filling this nomination. It is all coming back to that, one issue after another.
Yes, and quite frankly, this will cause, I believe, Senator McConnell and the Republican leadership to dig in their heels even deeper rather than run the risk that Judge Garland, a fine jurist, would have the final say.
What is the precedent here? And what is the lower court's ruling on this if it is a 4-4 tie?
That the president is enjoined, that the 12 executive orders are null and void, and he can't do what he wants to do.
That is it for the panel, and a story that we will definitely follow. But stay tuned.